Hello and welcome to another episode of the Get At It Gaming Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ben,
I'm Alex.
and we're just a couple of guys that like some nerdy stuff that like to talk about it on a podcast. Right now, you're catching the bi-weekly audio, but we also do a video version of this that hits YouTube the same week on Fridays. This will launch on Wednesdays, pretty early in the morning, on wherever you get your favorite podcast, whether it's iTunes, whether it's Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music. We're at all those places. If this is your first time listening, thank you. What would really appreciate for us, you do two things. One, go to our YouTube, hit follow, like a couple videos. And two, if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever you get it, hit that follow button so it automatically downloads for you. It's a simple thing for you that does a lot for us and kind of boosts our ego. So, so yeah.
You have to do a third thing as
Um,
well. You also have to so you said earlier, yeah, go to wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. You need to forget your favorite podcast. We're now your favorite podcast. So just delete all the other ones, unfollow all
yes.
the others, only us from now on.
Speaking of that, I know we're going to kind of go off the rails like we normally do. So I think I told you, Alex, I like to listen to this podcast called Scary Stories Told in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
They are read by a guy by the name of Otis Gyrie. And what it is the podcast is basically people send in stories. Most of them are authors and it's their story, right? So I was listening to the newest one that happened at the beginning of September and it's not him. And the guy's thanking Otis Gyrie. And I'm like, wait, what? So they did not invite him back. And it's kind of upsetting
Huh.
because I liked his voice
Yeah.
reading these stories. And
Interesting.
I guess I looked him up online and he's like, yeah, he has a GoFundMe or something.
Hmm.
But it's very sad. It's very sad. I
Yeah.
really like when he read that.
Yeah. When you say Otis, I think of Otis from the first Superman movie. Like, right, sure thing, Mr. Luthor. Like that Otis.
Oh my God.
Think about him.
No. Yes.
I would hope
But
that's how the podcast is read. Just talking about
yeah,
like chillers or whatever, and he's just like, so there I was looking at, and there was a gray right in front of me. What do you think, Mister Luthor?
no, luckily it's not read that way. It's read though, like in like third person almost.
Yeah.
But he has that really good, like soothing voice. And I was very sad when I have been listening to this podcast pre-COVID,
Mm-hmm.
so several years. And to be honest, when I started listening to it, it's because I went to go see the Scary Stories Told in the movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, I used to read those books. There's got to be a podcast that's like this, and I found him, and I've subscribed to his and a couple others. But yeah, I was very shocked to hear he's no longer there,
Yeah.
and they haven't produced another episode yet.
Huh.
So don't know if they're like trying to negotiate to get him back.
Yeah.
Um, it's very sad because I really did like that. I compare it to. I don't want to compare it to that. I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
I don't want to get in. I don't want to. I don't. I don't know. I feel like I have to say it now because I've already built it up. It's kind of like listening to IGN's Beyond when Greg Miller and everyone left,
Mm-hmm.
and Max Schofield and the other guy tried to do it, and it wasn't as good.
Yeah, they need to like find their footing, and eventually it sounds like they kind of did, but it definitely you left an empty presence there.
It's hard when people that you really like leave like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I listen to Kind of Funny's 2 podcasts every week, every day, because of my commute to work. But yeah, but this is not a podcast about scary stories told in the dark or anything like that. This is
Not yet.
our podcast. So we do have a very, very kind of close to the end of the year for us. Uh One, we're gonna talk about like weird TV shows or cartoons we watched when we were kids. We're gonna keep it super casual. There's no list today. Um,
I have a
you
list.
know,
There's kind of.
I don't have a list, but I have a web page pulled up
Yeah.
of stuff. Um, but like things. Okay, so I'll kind of bring up one. here particularly. So this is the 90s, right? What's really big right now is HBO. Cable's big. HBO, that channel you tried to watch when your parents went to sleep to catch the things you probably shouldn't watch.
Yeah.
Well, they had a show on there called Tales from the Crypt, right?
Yeah.
And it was like stories, horror, all horror. And, they had a lot of famous people, tons of famous people. I know like Arnold was in one, but they had all these crazy, like famous people in these episodes
Yeah.
told by the Crypt Keeper. Did you know that they came out with a Tales from the Crypt cartoon show?
Yes. I remember watching it.
I I never watched it. It's on Amazon now. You can watch it. Okay, so I don't understand this because this is like a show that, yeah, you may have heard of it as a kid from the talk on the school bus,
Hmm.
but this is the actual show is not a kids show, but the cartoon is where they do like a scary story told by the Crypt Keeper. It's even the same Crypt Keeper,
Yeah.
the same voice actor. So I mean, you watched the show. Were they scary at all, or were they just kind of like
No,
Scooby Doo scary?
probably a little more than Scooby Doo, I would say. Um, Probably more like a cartoon Goosebumps, probably.
Okay.
That's why I kind of remember it being. Um, but yeah, it was also really weird because like my first introduction to like him um in Tales from the Crypt and all that kind of stuff. I it was this cartoon, and then when I saw the live action one, I was like, oh, that's gross. What is this? Like, that's actually like not scary, but it's just like that's unsettling. Because I was just so used to like this cheaper flat animation style of like this zombie man. um so yeah, from what I can remember, it was like not quite Scooby-Doo, but like maybe a little more intense, but like not horrible.
It threw me off because I mean I'm in high school at this point, but I still would turn on the TV in the mornings when I'd wake up to see what cartoons were playing, and when this showed up, I'm like, um, okay. So like it's pretty hilarious because I was just like, how is this a kids show? But um, it's getting it's getting a lot of people watching it on Amazon because I've noticed it keeps moving
Mhm.
around of like uh, it keeps saying, "Oh, this is something you should watch." I think I watched like the new Creep Show episodes, and then
Mhm.
this showed up as something I would like. I never have watched it. I thought about watching it with the kids, but I'm like, man, I don't want to freak them out. I have one son that instead of just saying it's too scary, he just takes off running. Um, it just he screams and takes off running.
Yeah.
It's like Home Alone in my house,
Yeah.
except only when he's scared. So yeah, I had to bring that one up because I was just like, okay, I remember that show, but that is super, yeah, that is super cheesy and weird.
It is weird. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I didn't realize I mean, when we talked about this, I was thinking about other types of shows as well. So this show, I haven't thought about this show in a long time. Like Tales from the it's so like I guess the cartoon's called Tales from the Crypt Keeper, whereas like the original like the HBO is Tales from the Crypt. So I guess that's
Yes.
the way that they differentiate it. Um but yeah, like now you say that, I'm thinking of like I don't think it was weird necessarily, but it was like I don't know, like interesting, different. I'm thinking of was it Bump in the Night? The CG like
Oh
claymation.
yeah.
Um I forget like there's like a blue like ghost man. There was a two-eyed like Mike Wazowski type guy with like eyes up. Um I think there was like a Raggedy Ann type thing in that one too. Um but like I remember I remember having a book about it when I was younger, but I especially remember like it reminded me of like Gumby. Like it was very much like a claymation type thing. I don't know if it was claymation or if it was just CG that was. I feel like it would have to be claymation or something in
It
between
would have, yeah,
because of how old it is. Like I want to say it's like early 90s, the mid 90s. I'm going to look it up. Bump.
94 to 95.
Yeah, this looks claymation.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? Like I just looked it up as well. So some of the voices were like Jim Cummings and Rob Paulson and Brad Garrett
Oh
were
yeah, I
some of the
see that.
voices.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? I feel like Rob Paulson was like in a lot of different things
Yeah,
at
definitely.
this point. Um, his just voice is so iconic.
Yeah.
But I do remember this show. What was this? What what station was that on? Was that on ABC?
It might have been ABC. Yeah, it says ABC, aired on ABC. Stop motion animation. So it's claymation.
Yep. I remember that show. I remember I never really watched it. I was kind of past that. I was still kind of watching though, like Power Rangers and stuff.
Mhm.
I thought that was just the coolest thing. I used to watch Ultraman as a kid, so I was like, "Oh, this is super cool."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's and it only got like 1 season, maybe 2 seasons?
Let's see. It says 2 seasons, 26 episodes, 45 segments, one special. Deke
Gotcha.
helped do it as well, so it might have been on like ABC Family or something, Fox Family back when.
Yeah, that could be it. I feel like that time, like, cable was really sprouting its wings and there was a lot more out there.
That was like the days of when reruns of the French Canadian Donkey Kong Country cartoon would air like on Fox Family on Sunday mornings. And I'm like, I just want to
Yeah.
watch Donkey Kong, and then your parents are like, no, you gotta go to church. But it's like, but Donkey Kong's on. Like Donkey Kong, man, what a show! That's a horrible show, but every single episode has a really good song in it, and so like I'm okay with it.
Do you know that's on Tubi?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Like and every song is like very 90s, very R&B, like or like sometimes it's rock depending on like if King K. Rule's singing or if like the pirate Kremlings are singing or whatever or Donkey Kong. Like it's really good like for like the music. Like it's really shocking like how much effort they put into the songs, but the animation is iffy because you know it's older CG, but also it's just what are we doing here? Like it's just weird
Yeah.
things.
I felt like
Yeah,
I feel like that's the time for, like, the computer CG animation because that show Reboot was on at the same
I hate that show.
time-ish.
I think it's ugly.
They they continuously run that on YouTube. It's, I think whoever owns it now, their YouTube channel, they just stream it, all the episodes, like, one after another, after another, after another. I
Yeah,
tried watching it again, and I'm like, I don't really like this." But then you had, like, Beast Wars, all these kind of computer generated things were coming out.
Beast
And
Wars looks
so
so ugly too. Like
yeah,
it's also one of those things where it's just like I just can't watch this like ever again, unfortunately. But like at the same time, like I don't know, I'd rather watch Beast Wars than Reboot. I never liked Reboot. I always thought it looked was really off and stupid. Which is I guess sacrilegious because people love Reboot so much. So much so that it had a reboot, I'm pretty sure. I think it
yeah,
was it Netflix or something like that where like there was a new one and it was like it was CG. Like I want to say it was semi recently, like in the past 10 years or so, I would say. 5 or 10 years. Time, you know,
yeah,
time is crazy right now, but like
yeah. I remember it, and I had friends at school that were like, "Oh, it's like the best show ever," and I'm like, no, it's pretty bad."
yeah.
I never really got into it, but yeah. So if you go to YouTube right now, whoever owns it, I'm looking now. Um, but I remember because I subscribed because this place shows old episodes of um Ultraman and Common Rider and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, where was it at? But they also, yeah, like they're showing actually the new Common Rider just came out,
Okay.
but where's that? Shout,
Yeah.
yeah. So they have full episodes from 1994 of Reboot, so they must have the rights to it.
Probably. Um, because like I remember Reboot at the time, like when I saw it or whatever, like it was probably I don't know when did Reboot come out? Um,
I think it said like 94.
let's see, 94 to 2001. So I was probably catching some of the later stuff. But by the time I noticed it, I was like, oh, I don't really like this. But then when did this happen? Hang on. No, I always thought of, which is afterwards, the PBS kids show Cyber Chase because I'm like it's the same thing
My
except
God.
except one of them has Gilbert Gottfried and Christopher Lloyd in it as like the villains or whatever.
Yep.
Um but cuz I always remember like those I'm like these are the only two children's cartoons that are dealing with the internet and like how cyberspace and all that sort of thing just works. No others. There might have been others. Like I mean, Dot Hack eventually, but that's not a children's cartoon. But like as far as like the main premise, I don't think there are many of those. So like those sort of two that I always not necessarily get confused, but I was like, oh, well, I feel like the PBS kids show is at least better.
Yeah. I mean, and like I'll say like the 90s was like, oh my gosh, there were so many crazy shows. Um, I remember after cartoons in the late 90s, like 93, 94. um, after cartoons, they always showed like Hercules and Xena and all those shows, right?
Yeah.
Um, but like another one that I thought was like kind of like a weird show, and I was like, I never understood it. Um, where's that out of here? Oh, Skeleton Warriors. Do you remember this show?
Is that a Fox show?
Yes, I think it was. So it had a CG look to it as well. 94. Um,
Yes, I remember the toys.
yes. So it was definitely a show to kind of like get the toys.
CBS.
It was
Okay.
so weird. It didn't make any sense to me at least.
Yeah.
And like I said, I maybe it's because I was older. Um, yeah, I felt like they were trying to capture some of the 80s with this one.
Hmm.
Um, and I want to say so this one was not CG, but it definitely was like futuristic. Had a bunch of it felt like what was it? It felt very X-Men-ish,
Hmm.
but it wasn't X-Men, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it was such a weird show. I remember the toys because going to like Walmart and seeing all the toys there, but no one ever bought them.
Mhm.
I mean, they literally were just like it's to the point where they got clearanced out,
Yeah.
you know. I think the 90s were hard for toys because you know what really sold were like Transformers, GI Joe, the typical stuff, right? But like trying to create a show to sell toys like they used to do in the 80s was definitely harder in the
Well, I
90s.
remember the Earthworm Jim toys got clearanced out, and so I remember we might still have them somewhere. Like uh we would buy two sets. So like there's one that I got to play with and there's one that's sealed somewhere. So
Yeah.
those are somewhere in my parents' house. I don't know where. But like we got everything because they were like on clearance and like even got like his ship. You would get like the scuba one. There's so many different random toys and stuff, for these types of shows.
And now they're worth a lot probably because they just were so
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, I don't know. I think it was like, what was it? I watched this show. God, I'm so old. There was a show called Captain Power. It basically you could get like this ship, right? And
Mhm.
you play the VHS and it had the flashing screen and you would shoot with your ship that had a trigger on it and it would give you points. It was like a video game, but not a video.
Mhm.
Um, I tried rewatching that show and I was like, okay, so this really is awful. It's bad acting, bad CG, late 80s, early 90s. Um, but I remember when they cleared those toys out. Those toys now, even in box, are not worth very much.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably get them under $100.
Yeah, probably.
Because I was looking on eBay and I was like, do I want to buy this ship that's in the box for a failed show that made one season with toys and that was it?
Yeah.
I think it's on my watch list. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably just and if it's on eBay, if you watch something and they want to clearance it out, you get a notice like, hey, they just dropped the price. If it gets under, I think he has it for like $40. If it gets to 30, I will buy it.
Yeah.
It'll sit on my shelf, but just buying nostalgia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, what are some more from you, like, of some shows that you're like, gosh, the show, looking at it now, was either weird or just, you know, not in its place,
There are a
I guess.
couple that come to mind. One I actually enjoy now. The other one I've never really watched before. But you would catch things, flipping channels, and you would see UPN and they would just have like weird cartoons like Dr. Katz. It's just like that weird squiggle
Yep.
vision. Um and it just like is very unsettling. Like that show is just very unsettling. I've never like fully like sat down and watched it, but I just remember just the way that looked as a child. Like it looked very weird. And then
Yeah.
similar one, but I mean I have it right here, I guess, just because it's over here. But like home movies is another one. Like it's just one of those like fever dreams. It's just like you catch this one day on UPN, back when, or then Adult Swim eventually, and you're just like, what was this show that just looks really off? Like they're just, it's very dry humor. Like you, especially like as a kid, you're like, is this funny? Like you don't know what's really happening, but you're just interested in it. And so like I would say those two in particular aren't necessarily like weird per se, but like the way that their art style is, or just the way that like the comedy is portrayed, um is just different for that era, especially because like I mean, home movies, at least the first season, I think is rated PG, maybe. I don't know about Dr. Katz. Dr. Katz is probably TV 14 or whatever. But um, like I didn't feel, or maybe a little bit. Maybe I did feel like I was watching something that I shouldn't be. But like, um, I don't know. It was on TV, and like I also don't remember for home movies. Like I know home movies was one of the first shows for Adult Swim. Like when Adult Swim like became a
Yeah.
thing, they purchased it and did it, and then did more seasons. Because I think there's like 3 seasons total, and or 3 or 4 seasons total, and so um yeah, I don't remember if like the Adult Swim logo was in the corner, if there was just like a Cartoon Network logo at the time. I don't remember, but I do know like I have flipped into like, flip channels back when. Don't really do that anymore, but you flip channels and you would catch UPN, and there'd just always be weird things on UPN. Like there would be like some Digimon sometimes on UPN. There would be South Park on UPN. There'd be Mission Hill, which is another one of my shows that I really like. That's just kind of weird and out there. It eventually went to Adult Swim, and then got canceled or just did its 6 episodes or whatever run on there. But yeah, those are a few for sure. Just like very abrasive, not obscure, but like um Just weird art styles, different art styles.
I remember trying to think the first time I watched home movies was Adult Swim. And it's like early Adult Swim where they, Saturday was anime and it was huge for them. They were like blowing up with that. And so Sunday they wanted to do more comedy. So they had Harvey Birdman, um, they had Aqua Teen Hunger Force, eventually the Brack Show. But all these other shows were like 15 minutes a piece, right?
Mhm.
They got Mission Hill and stuff, and like this was part of that programming. I always liked John Benjamin's character, Coach McGurr, but now watching that and then watching Bob's Burger, it's almost identical for this.
It's the same type of
Uh,
humor. Like I know,
yeah,
like Brendan Small doesn't work on Bob's Burgers, but it's clearly either it's someone who used to work on home movies or like just knows that type of humor. Because like yeah, it's very akin to how they did at least the first season of home movies, where it's just like, all right, we're just gonna kind of improv, just around the table. Let's have fun
yeah,
here. And then because Brendan Small also did Metalocalypse as well, like that's his like real thing that he's well known for. I don't like that show personally because I'm not a metalhead, so like I don't understand the references, I don't understand everything that's kind of going around it. So I'm just not a huge fan of that show, but home movies is definitely one that I do enjoy.
I'm trying to remember the character. You remember the clown?
Oh yeah.
Uh, what's his name? Doctor something or other. But like one of the band members loved him because he was a clown, but he the clown kept using cocaine, had a problem with cocaine.
Hmm.
And like when he was on the show, that show was hilarious. Because like the one guy's like, "Oh, it's a clown," because he was like in a metal band, but like a child. And and he, that's where he would steal stuff in their house to get more cocaine. Uh but like but yeah,
Dr.
like I totally
Roxo.
yes, Dr. Roxo. Uh, but like I I I I watched a lot of home movies. Um, if you look at some of the stuff that I like from Adult Swim, it's that earlier stuff. Now, I do have to say that you got me hooked on. I don't know if it was you or my son, my oldest, second to oldest, got me hooked on Smiling Friends.
This is me, I
And
think.
I think it was you. And I heard they're getting a new season.
Yeah, it's in like 12 days at the time that we're
Yeah,
recording, so I'm very excited.
I was I was telling my one son, I was like, "Yeah, I remember now that." I was like, "Yeah, Alex has got me hooked on Smiling Friends. I'm almost finished." And he goes, "Oh my gosh, that show is hilarious." I was like, "You've watched it?" And he goes, "Yeah, I've watched like all the episodes." I go, "Why didn't you tell me about this? It's hilarious." Um, when the one character is in hell and he punches that guy in the stomach, and he's like, "Dude, I told you, if you do it again." Like that
What did I
clip
tell
showed up.
you? I was gonna do it. What do you expect? I was gonna punch you.
Uh, the
Gonna
fact that
punch you
they're
in the
doing
neck.
another season is perfect. Um,
I love
I think
season 2 with Wimbley, and they try to act like he's like Banjo Kazooie or something like that, or like a Rayman. He's like this weird, like CG, like N64 PS1 mascot,
yep,
and he's like ew 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 ew. Ew.
yeah, like
So good.
it 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 gave me like when I first watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force vibes. Like I remember watching those episodes, the first season, right? Crying so hard because I was just tears. Oh my god, I'm gonna show my age. I worked at Suncoast Video, and when the manager wasn't there because I was the assistant, I would totally put in Aqua Teen Hunger
Mm.
because they had a DVD player back there. Uh, and I'll add that show into the list of weird stuff. The first time I watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I'm like, okay, so I'm super confused. It's a milkshake, it's a fry, and it's like a wad of meat next to a potential sex offender next door, and they keep doing stuff, and it never is right. Like like poor Carl that lives next door.
Yeah,
Did you did you ever see the episode where they move?
I don't remember.
So,
Probably, I probably seen it. I seen a lot of that show.
oh my gosh. there's an episode where they're moving and they're saying bye to Carl. He's like, "Good riddance, good riddance." He goes, and he's like, it's one of the times where he's like, they truly were an Aqua Teen, or they truly were like a hugger force. And he's like, "Wait, wait." And he gets all pissed. He goes, "What are you doing?" They literally bought the other house on the other side of Carl. He was so pissed. Uh,
Yeah.
you
Um
know, just
yeah, that show in particular, there's shows like that now as well, but it's very much a, hey, they're a superhero group, but here's what they do when they're not superheroing. They're just chilling or just doing really stupid things. Um and like I said, there are other shows like that. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I know like that's like a trope where it's just like, here's the superheroes, but here's how their normal life are. I mean, it's kind of like Brack, I guess, the Brack show, or like Harvey Birdman, or what do you call it, Space Ghosts, where it's like they're actually superheroes, but they have a day job or whatever. So
I loved Harvey Birdman because it literally was like bringing in like old cartoons into
mhm,
court, cartoon characters, and taking them to court. Uh, but like that first season of Aqua Teen is probably one of the best seasons they've done.
yeah,
I remember the first time you met the Mooninites, you know?
yeah.
Um, it just Carl getting pissed because they were in his pool, or, you know, them trying to come to his house all the time,
Mhm.
or, just and it was so weird. It was so weird, but yet it's so funny. Um, and I think this was like early Adult Swim. That's what they shot for because the Brack show's weird too.
Yeah,
And it has its moments where
yeah.
it's funny. I
A lot
laughed
of it
more at
isn't funny though.
yeah, I think I laughed more at Harvey Birdman,
Yeah.
um, just because it was like there was some funny stuff, in there. Plus, it
Um,
was crazy seeing, like, old cartoons going to court for, like, federal cases, you
uh,
know?
Stephen Colbert is in that show too. He's like
Yeah,
2 characters. So,
um, you know, it just it was just a or they had this random bear in, like, half the episodes.
yeah, he'd just be there.
Yeah,
And
and,
sometimes
like
he would attack people, like he would attack, what's his name? Peanut, the other, like, Birdman sidekick. You just randomly just attack him or something. Because he was Birdman sidekick, but he had like a sweater vest on or something. But he still had like
it
the whole thing on.
it's so funny because the bear would never get zoomed in on,
Mhm.
but he would be in the background and he would, like, wave sometimes,
Yeah.
or he would, like, look at the camera, and you're just like, "What is this bear doing there?" It's just a
Yeah.
random and before anyone, like, is listening is like, "Oh, it's like Yogi." No, this is like a random, just drawn cartoon bear for the show,
Yeah, just a random
you know?
background real bear. It's not like one that talks or anything either. I mean Yogi's the first episode, but
Yeah, what was he busted for? It was something really bad.
I
It was
don't
not good.
I don't remember, but I think it was actually Boo Boo if I remember correctly. But yeah, I really don't remember it, but like I don't know if that's still available to like stream or whatever on like HBO Max or something. I have all the DVDs. But it's an interesting show. It's definitely worth a watch. It ends really weird. I hated the Bird Girl spinoff that happened in like 2020.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that.
I tried watching it. It just doesn't do the same thing as Harvey Birdman. Like it just has Bird Girl back, but it I don't know. It just tries to do its own thing. It doesn't have the same humor necessarily, and it doesn't have the same like tropes and just like the way that the show like runs. Like it just is different. It's clearly different showrunners, different time, all of that. But
It is still on HBO Max,
okay.
and you can watch 4 seasons? Is that all they had was 4 seasons?
I think it's 3 seasons, and then the 4th season's just the last episode.
I think you might be right. I love that the one that showed up was with Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
Um, no, there's like a bunch of episodes
Okay.
here. Maybe it's like
The
they made
last
it into a
episode, I
bigger.
know they made a huge deal about it, and, like, I think it aired, like, on its own, like, years after.
Yeah,
Um,
they're all like 12 minutes long
yeah.
except for the death of Harvey Birdman is 22 minutes,
Yeah, it's
and
the
then the
final,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah, and so get this, that was in 2007, and then Harvey Birdman, Attorney General, came in 2018, and it's 23 minutes.
Yeah.
So, which if you're thinking as well, Home Movies is on, um, and both Aqua Teen Hunger Force movies are on.
Hmm.
I never watched the second one.
Neither did I.
I heard mixed things on it, so I
Yeah.
just didn't. So, but no, those. It's so funny we talk about how those are weird, but they were some of those shows were really really.
Hmm.
Do you have one? Do you have one that you remember that was and you would watch it and you're like, this is so bad.
I have one on my list here that I kind of have. I wouldn't say it's bad. I would just say it's boring. Um, I think this might have been a UPN show as well. WB, the WB back in 2001 got canceled. And then Adult Swim bought it. The Oblongs, starring Will Ferrell.
Yeah, that show was super weird.
Like, I understand what it was doing. Like, it's very much like here is like the rich people living in the rich town, and then here are the poor people living like in the poor side of town, but all the rich people's like chemicals and sewage and stuff got into all the poor people's stuff, and that caused them all to like mutate and just look really weird. So like I think Milo was like the main kid, so like Bobby Hill's voice actress is in it. He has two eyes, but he always has one squinted and like one hair at the top, so kind of like Pim in what do you call it, Smiling Friends. um
Hmm.
and then Will Ferrell was like the dad, but he had no limbs at all, and so he was just a torso with a head. And
I
so he
remember
would just
that.
like hop around everywhere and just do things. um the mom, I want to say, was from the rich side of town, but she lost her hair and she smokes a lot, so like she has like a fake huge head of hair. And then there's twins who are like conjoined twins. um and then just like other just weird friends and stuff, but like that's another one of those like weird fever dream shows. But like apparently there's only 13 episodes of this show. Like it aired like the first 4 or 6 episodes on the WB, and then they just were like, nope, it's done, it's canceled. You don't even get to show your last episodes. And so Adult Swim took it, they aired the whole thing. um but yeah, it's very much like, social commentary and stuff about like, the how the rich treat the poor and vice versa, and all of that kind of stuff. But like from what I've seen, and like when I've been older, I'm like, this is okay. But like when I was a kid, like flipping channels or whatever, I was like, this is weird, and like I don't like this. Like it's unsettling.
Yeah, I remember it, and it's funny you said 12 episodes because I felt like when it was. I used to put it on with background noise,
Hmm.
and so like I was doing other things, but I would always sit and watch the episode.
Yeah.
I felt like there was more episodes, so I have probably watched all the episodes several times.
Yeah.
Um, I I watched it, but I wasn't like, oh, I can't miss an episode of this.
Yeah.
Um, it was kind of background noise.
Hmm.
And then, also you talk about Adult Swim was buying some crazy stuff because they got the rights to that. And then when Family Guy got canceled a couple years before, they bought the rights to Family Guy and they blew it up
Yeah.
to the point where Fox wanted it back and played it on there, and it was a huge court and money was involved.
Mhm.
And now look at Family Guy, they're in, I don't even know what season they're in now.
Oh, it's still going.
Um, yeah, they would show Futurama, they would show King of the Hill, they would show American Dad, and then they would show Family Guy before they got into the other stuff like these shows.
Each of
So
those got a reboot eventually.
yeah, I think Futurama's got another season coming pretty soon, right?
I think it's out either now or in like a week or so. The last season was actually really bad, unfortunately. The Hulu seasons haven't been good. I would say, and do what you want, but I would recommend watching the original seasons, and then if you want to, watch the movies and then the Comedy Central, because the Comedy Central at least has a finite like finale. Um, so there are those.
Yeah. I I I feel like we've been just on Adult Swim, but there was literally this show. I just watched it earlier this year. I think like first of the year I found it on adultswim.com
12-ounce
and I
mouse.
watched no, even worse. Saul of the Mole
Oh yeah.
and I watched the entire season. This was bad.
Yeah.
Um and I don't know why I watched it and I remember like why I watched it. Um it's literally like the old school from like the 70s, um, HR Puffin stuff, that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
where it's like the crazy background. Here's what's crazy. Not all the mole men look the same. Um, he was trying to get pieces from his ship so he could get back. They drilled down. Rest of his team was killed.
Mhm.
Um, he's got a guy that's stuck in a tube that can't come out. And then there's a robot. And then there's him. And he works with the mole men to try and get parts going, but like it just you have people in giant costumes and it was so different. And I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure they only got like one season. Rotten Tomatoes at 17%. Um
Like now I'm just thinking about
2000
those random things like Xavier Renegade Angel or whatever. The weird
oh
CG.
I hated that show.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, that show is so good." I'm like, "No, that show was not
Yeah.
good."
Those people are watching it different way. Who probably thought that was really good.
I I mean, if you took some mushrooms it'd be great.
Yeah.
I did not think it was good. I remember it used to come on and I tried to watch it and watched it, and I was like, "This show's just not good
Yeah.
at all." But Saul of the Moment, I'm like looking who's in it. Okay, so there actually said some good voice work people in there. Um, Gary Anthony Williams, who also played on Boondocks, which was hilarious, played Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah.
Um, he was in it. The guy that played Saul, I don't I don't think he's been in anything else. He's got a music career. Uh, so yeah, he had like a couple of things. He was a writer and starred in Saul the Moment, but most of the stuff he does is writing.
Yeah.
But that show was just so out there. I think it was like at the peak of Adult Swim of like we can put whatever on, it's gonna be a success.
Hmm.
No, this was not a success. Um, it was so far out there, so weird. Um, and they put it on at a weird time. The episodes are only 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
So um
But they felt like they dragged on forever.
they did. They did. I not that I would say to do this, but on YouTube, someone's taken all the episodes and put them together for one,
Hmm.
you can just watch it. It's still weird. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Um there's oh my gosh, there's just so many weird things about that.
Yeah.
not to stick on like Adult Swim. Adult Swim had this, they were putting weird stuff on. They're like, this is gonna work. And then
Mhm.
it was very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I said, what was it? 12-ounce mouse earlier. Like, I vaguely remember that. That was like MS Paint,
I
essentially.
tried to watch it and I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, it's just another one of those things where it's just very unsettling. Um, and then Drinky Crow Show was another one I thought of just now, where it's like kind of CG, um, but like it's also not good. I think Crow died every episode, maybe. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's just we. I feel like we've gone over a lot of weird shows already, for sure. But yeah, I can't really think of any more off the top of my head besides what we talk about now. And like you said, we've kind of gone into the rabbit hole of like just talking about Adult Swim things.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Adult Swim had this. We were trying to get more of like, hey, but you know what? This is a completely conversational podcast. This is what we do. We just have conversations.
Yeah.
Um, sometimes we're talking about this, sometimes we're talking about Pokemon, sometimes talking about anime.
Uh-huh.
I don't think we've ever talked about Pokemon actually. Um, you know, you never really know. Um, but if you stayed this long, number one, thank you. Number two, don't forget to hit that follow button. Check out our other stuff. We have 2 episodes right now that it's a show about nothing. We have part one and part two, which are almost a year apart, but for some reason, people love those shows.
Yeah.
Last episode we did was actually about um, we talked about like what we're looking forward to this year, and there's some crazy ones in there. Um, I do want to direct you, so we have a second. Can we talk about the second channel?
We can. Yeah. There's stuff on there. They just haven't been public. I mean, by the time this comes out, I guess I can make some of them public.
I probably jumped the gun on that.
No, that's
This is
fine.
what happens. This is what happens. We have conversations. Alex is like, "Hey, we're gonna kind of wait and just build this up." But yeah, we have a second channel. We decided to take when we do our streams. Um, we're if we're starting to, it's getting close to the end of the year. So anyone that is new here, just know that we pre-record November, December. Alex and I take a break. We basically do episodes all year long where we record and produce. And for the longest time, we were doing an episode of the podcast one week and then streaming one another week. So we take this time off, but we did these ones where we did Undertale, um, and we kind of talk as you know, one of
Yeah.
us plays, and
Just a let's play type thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few of them. They're on the channel right now. I'll probably just have them come out as they will come out, but eventually we'll do more. We've done what, just two other games, I would say.
hmm
Otherwise, the reason why the others aren't going to be on the channel because I don't have those videos anymore. So
yeah,
that's the main reason why. Also, Celeste was kind of messed up near the end there, so it's fine. But if you want to watch those Celeste Let's Plays, they're on our regular channel. If you want to find our new channel, Get at Gaming Plays, you can find that by clicking on the links below and take a look at the Undertale stuff. If you watched these before on our YouTube, it's a secret. We took down the ones that were on our current YouTube, and we're kind of like just kind of building stuff over there now, just because it
yeah.
makes more sense. If you want to subscribe to both things, cool. If you don't, it's totally fine. We just felt that when we were doing Celeste, especially, we had so many episodes coming out. It felt like it was sending you guys too many notifications, and it's like, do you guys actually want to watch this? So I'd rather that be its own separate channel, so you can enjoy it, and then if you do want to bog your feed down, you can, of your own free will.
Yeah, and it'd be great for you guys to support us there. um, as well. Next year, we probably are going to have a lot more. Um, maybe some co-op games we play, and just kind of talk about the game, and really we just kind of chat. Um, Definitely check those out. Some of them, I will say, some of the source material may be dated, because we talked about it when we were doing it. But
Yeah.
yeah, Alex, do you have anything else to say?
Nothing else except get at it.
Get at it.